It's my pleasure to be here tonight to introduce my good friend Jim. In 1990, when Coach Mack was first coaching here, I remember that's the first time I met Jim. It was at the old Moore Park High School. It was a game that we lost. We should have won, I remember. And but we played them really close. I do remember that. And there was a guy in the stands, Jim, who was yelling, cheering, very emotional. And I remember after the game, I talked to him and kind of like, who are you? You know, like, where's this coming from? And that really was the beginning of us getting to know each other. And I remember I was just drawn to him because of his passion. If there was one word to describe Jim, it would be passion. So over the years, we got to know each other. And the next thing I found out is nobody works as hard as Jim. Katrina, you are so awesome. He's doing all this work, but you're letting him. Like, was he ever home? No, he was always here. And the other thing that just struck me about Jim through our friendship, through all these years, is he would always tell me about his kids. You know, I see his grown-up kids here tonight, and I'm like, oh, I know everything about you, because he's always telling me about his kids, his grandkids. Just so proud of his family. Just, I mean, you guys, this guy loves his family so much. And his 4 children went to Bonaventure, and just great people. Just awesome people. And that says a lot because of Jim and Katrina. So it is my true honor to introduce one of my very good friends who has done so much for St. Bonaventure, Jim Steiner.
Wow. I think everyone here tonight has a pretty good sense of why this is all so special. The first thing I'd like to say is congratulations to all of the inductees in the class of 2012. Each one of you has lifted me tonight. God bless each one of you. God bless the families who are here. I'd like to say something at the beginning here that I didn't have written down, but this is to Dutch. Dutch, you filled in a lot of amazing perspective of the early years of St. Bonaventure High School and all those special folks. And one of the things I hope to do is fill in some of the more recent chapters as stylishly as we did. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. You are indeed a BFF to me. Once I learned early to never get between you and the football field during a game, we were good to go. One of my favorite recent TV shows was Friday Night Lights. And one of the main reasons I loved that show was Connie Britton was just Kathy Mack. Yes, all those Friday nights all over Southern California, and especially Larrabee, with the fog and the cold, but the warmth of the crowd, the great Sarah family who wouldn't be anywhere else. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Brother Paul, for giving me the wonderful opportunity to serve this great school and for trusting me with many important and far-reaching projects. And thank you for always supporting my Sarah family. Thank you, John, for so many memories and so much great history of planning, preparing, working so hard, and reaping the rewards of doing the right things right, because it matters. We have too many people these days who just don't seem to get this. My work here over all these great years has been so much more fulfilling because we strive diligently to do the right things right. Well, Thanksgiving morning practices. Anyway, Kathy's turkey sandwiches always made those days truly palatable. Quick story on John. Of course, we each have many. A bunch of years ago, before we had the Seraph Superstore, I was wanting a Seraph jacket to wear to games and events. I mentioned to Coach Mac that I kind of like those coaches' jackets with the Seraph Gladiator on the back. In 30 seconds, he was in his truck, taking out his own coach's jacket and handing it to me. Pretty cool to have the jacket with John's initials on the tag. And there it is right over there, and it still fits me like a tarp. Thank you, Dennis Johnson, for your generosity, a jillion favors, and especially for teaching me a lot of computer skills and desktop publishing techniques. Thank you for always remembering to scold me when I forgot how to do something, and then patiently going over it again and again. Mr. J and I go back to my very first days at St. Bonaventure in 1987. At first we were about baseball, photography, and music, and then together for 16 years we built the monster, known by some as the Big Green Sports Book. Yes, we built it, and we did it proudly. Oh yeah, I have a baseball jacket from Coach Johnson also, with his initials on the tag. Thank you also to some special folks in this room tonight for your support and your friendship and for giving me so many magic moments and enduring memories, especially the many student athletes I'm privileged to know, and to some other very special folks who are not here tonight, with whom I have shared so abundantly, especially Ed Lyon, Mary O'Connor, the Ruffinellis, the Bassos, the Garzas, Marcia D., and Patty Strickland. Indeed, there are so many special people who have made my St. Bonaventure journey over the past 25 years so rich, so blessed, so rewarding. I'm joined here tonight by my wife of 43 years. There she is in the back, Katrina. And by all 4 of our Seraph graduates. That was a little trick she took care of over this weekend, so I had to rewrite this whole speech, and there's all kinds of like arrows going in every direction, and I've got these glasses, and I'm doing my best. I would like to say thank you to my 4 children who made this a very special many, many years for our entire family. First, Christopher, class of 1991. Matthew, class of 1992. Dustin, class of 1997. Shannon, class of 2000. They're here with all of their spouses, and we have the 4 little munchkins you saw running around, not Bill's, but the other ones. Those were mine. Anyway, it is about family, and it's so special to have them all here with me. Katrina and I have a blessed journey that started in high school in North Hollywood, endured Cal Berkeley in the 60s, 7 years in the United States Army Medical Services, including a year for me in the Republic of Korea. And like so many unlikely family stories, it was this Korea thing that brought us to Ventura County. We raised our kids in Santa Paula, but we chose St. Bonaventure for their future. We chose academics, and we got so much more. Even 3 trips a day sometimes for Mom coming back and forth to do all of the special things that were going on here. Katrina moved with our not quite 3-year-old and 1.5-year-old boys to live on the citrus and avocado ranch in Santa Paula, owned by her parents, while I was overseas. And then we stayed for 26 years. The past 10 years we lived here in Ventura after our guys were off to college. sprouting their wings and starting their careers, but always secure in their roots. And by the way, don't try to become a grandparent after you're 60. These little boys are lightning quick, very resourceful in obliterating obstacles and changing the rules. Many of you know what I mean, but oh, what fun it is. I'd like to also mention that daughter-in-law Jennifer is right out here, and she's got number 5 on the way. The other ladies are Claudia and Mindy and Shannon's Nate, and we are blessed to have 4 wonderful new people in our family to join our children. Katrine is just retired from 16 years of teaching in kindergarten and 2nd grade in Santa Paula, and I'm so proud of her career in the classroom. And oh yeah, by the way, that guy who played Buddy Garrity on Friday Night Lights, that's her cousin. All-state football player in Texas, 1972. He's a total Texas guy, and we love him. My St. Bonaventure tapestry is woven with many golden threads. I have chosen to speak this evening about connections and abundance. Some of my most memorable experiences with my 4 Seraphs and their schoolmates, their teammates, and their friends. Several of these people are on this Hall of Fame membership list. Because of my long ride, connections are deep and widespread. So please indulge me while I share some of those gold threads. I'll be talking about sports stuff, but please note that I am a proud dad of 4 excellent students, 3 of them National Honor Society members. Chris, class of 1991. First high school event for mom and dad, freshman junior varsity soccer game in a torrential downpour with automobile headlights helping to illuminate the field so the kids could see where the ball was. Well, soccer is an all-weather sport. 2 years later, Easter break, baseball at arch rival Fillmore. Our Never Say Die 1990 league championship team, led by a humble fellow, also a Hall of Famer, who wore a cape beneath his jersey with a backwards S that looked a lot like a Z. Kevin Zoll pitched a no-hitter against that powerhouse team that day, but we had a scoreless tie until Chris, better known for his speed and a cannon arm, hit a 2-run scoring gapper late in the game to secure the win. A magic moment for a dad whose kid could outthrow Pop at 14. Chris was our Seraph center fielder and was named All-League the next year as a senior. But that day was about the bat, and it was his turn to be the guy on that team that just kept delivering the magic moments for the parents all season long. Matthew, class of 1992. Playing football with Mike Herrera, our current assistant varsity head coach and a teacher here, for this brand new guy named Coach Matt. Not much playing time, but taking great pride in his role as the practice field ball carrier, who always got his bell rung regularly against the first string demon defense, and always got back up for another turn. Playing point guard in Seraph basketball, and often calling his own plays on the court, much to the coach's delight. Not. A memorable moment for me was the amazing 1991 football playoff game against small school state #1 ranked Big Bear at Larrabee. Matt's comments after the thrilling 193-yard, 4th down conversion, 4th quarter winning drive, complete with a successful 2-point razor-thin inside the cone run to win by 1 point. Geez, Dad, the running back was a 6'6" grown man with a big handlebar mustache. Many of you know that Coach Matt slept in his office here on campus many a night in those days before Kathy and young Jenny moved up here from the valley. Dustin, class of 1997, coming to St. Bonaventure via Assumption School next door instead of junior high school in Santa Paula, playing flag football at OLA for co-coach Ed Mills. Then playing Sarah football for 3 years, watching future Stanford star Sam Benner tear it up, and then playing with a couple other guys you've heard of. A golden arm quarterback named Tewa, or Tewa when he was on the field. I'm told he even spoke Aztec in the huddle. And a lightning quick gecko-fingered receiver with a lot of pep, and a heart as big as the stadium. Unfortunately, Dustin was injured early in his senior year and had to turn in his gear. But oh, that 1996 Sarah football team. The magic memory is the night in Ojai. CIF championship game against Nordhoff on the neutral field at Nordhoff. My first throw was Coach Farrar coming across the field as people were coming into the stands and hassling me about putting up my Sarah Pride is Unstoppable sign. Hey Coach, I think you might have some players over there who might need some help. The game was a nail biter. The usual high-powered Sarah crowd traditionally outnumbering and outperforming the home crowd. No matter where we were, we're down at halftime, the fans are restless. Dustin sitting next to me calmly in the packed stands, saying confidently, "Don't worry, Dad, we'll win this game." He knew the guys out there in the field and what they were made of. Late third quarter, Sanchez de Villaseñor for the go-ahead touchdown, and 18 points. Really, John? And Sarah Pride was unstoppable. Oh yeah, there was this other guy out there who made sure that the Rangers were finished. The indomitable force who was our last true 48-minute man, Biff Tannen. Otherwise known more recently as our awesome Sarah varsity head coach, Todd Therian. J-Wab, Todd, Pepe, I'm so proud of you guys. You brought us the thrills, and now you're paying it forward with your skills and your leadership to new fine young men as successful coaches. And Todd, I'm looking forward to watching you on Saturday TV in the fall. That night was also the unveiling of many humongous championship banners provided generously and proudly to me by Mary O'Connor. And remember, we had them rolled up and ready the day before the games. Dustin also competed in track and field and learned to be a pretty good triple jumper from his full-time coach, who just happened to be a track teammate. Sean and Dustin won 1-2 in the league meet as seniors. That's the kind of St. Bonaventure students we're talking about. Then there was Shannon, class of 2000, my dancer, my cheerleader, my princess, little sis who followed Dustin from OLA Middle School, and then three big brothers to St. Bonaventure to Seraphland. Shannon was born to be a cheerleader. Confidence and seasoning from her brothers. Skill set from dancing almost daily since she was 2 years old. Shannon was named captain of her JV squad as a freshman and spent that memorable Ojai night I just spoke of on the sidelines with the big girls, cheering our Seraph CIF champions to victory. 3 years later, as the senior varsity cheer captain at Larrabee, it was Nordhoff again. Nail-biting again, despite National High School Player of the Year Lorenzo Booker leading a pretty darn good and undefeated Sarah football team. Nordhoff was just pesky in those days. So, final drive, quarterback Mike Spargo, who's now a college football coach. Handing off the ball to the best high school running back in the nation, stopped short of the goal, according to the officials. Clock at 11 seconds, down marker at 4. Seraph's down a couple points, championships just a couple yards away. Ranger defense breathing fire, remembering 1996. No fear. Bring in star linebacker David Garza, another Hall of Famer. Simple game plan. Garza, just take this ball, knock some guys down like usual, and carry it over there into the end zone. Ball snap, clock ticks, Sarah football championship #2. And me rushing down on the field, literally at the last second, with 24 of those little We're #1 signs and another humongous banner, the signs for the cheerleaders and the banner for the team, for us to tell them about who we are at St. Bonaventure once again. I don't remember ever having to put one of those banners in the dumpster. Roll back 2 years, Shannon was selected as United Spirit Association USA sweater over there. National Cheerleader All-Star Squad, and got to go to Paris as a sophomore with cheermate and Seraph softball star Annie Morostica to be part of the USA national team performing in 1998 Christmas week parades in Paris, France. Wow. Shannon was also selected to be varsity captain as a junior, making her a 3-time Seraph cheer captain. Other little sisters, Araceli Villaseñor and Amanda Benner, were among many of her special teammates. During Shannon's cheerleading years, and I believe I didn't miss a game during those 4 seasons, people would come up to Katrina and me in the stands and they'd say, "Hey, Shannon's the best." Mom would uncomfortably go, "Oh, thank you." Dad, he would just beam. A minute later, Dad would turn to Mom and say, "Well, some other parents could hear that same thing that could only be true for one set of parents, and that could be us." Of course, I still have all our little outfits in the closet. Well, here I am 25 years in the world of green and gold, and there are more special former students on these Hall of Fame member rolls with whom I have been pleased to share so many Seraph moments. As I look at those lists on your program, I would have, 100 more stories. So just know that. One thing I'd like to say is one of my very special moments within my association with this school, and one of my fondest memories was meeting the 1968 championship football team at the reunion several years ago. A very special group of true gentlemen, and kind of going back in a time machine to those good old days, giving everyone a special commemorative program that we made to honor the event. And that night, a lot of the work that I had done, begrudgingly maybe, was validated. So thank you to all those gentlemen. They wrote the playbook, and they laid the foundation for all of us. Well, after enjoying about 9 years as a parent volunteer and dad of 3 sons who had experienced a solid and productive high school bridge to college, and a daughter who was well on her way to doing the same, I got caught up with that little green sports book. My new 4-letter word was font. There were hundreds of them, and it was good. My time and energy with that little engine that could and did was hugely painstaking, hugely rewarding. It was driven maniacally and relentlessly by all the things that I have just reminisced about. The students, the athletes, the coaches, the teachers, the work ethic, all in the pursuit of being the best that we could be. We have had our detractors, conspicuously critical of our successes, but we earned it all with good old-fashioned values, goals, character, and hard work. My hope is that these sports books will reflect genuinely and substantively a special legacy of who we were, what we did, and what we were made of, and that they can be that proverbial snapshot of special times, places, and people that many Seraph students and athletes can look back upon fondly, page by page, for many years to come. At this point, as I am closing, I'd like to recognize with thanks and prayer all the many, many community, church, and family sponsors so generous of spirit and of financial support, loyal and committed to us over so many years, believing steadfastly in what we were doing in the classrooms as well as on the fields and the courts and the courses. Creating and assembling the sports book was a continually overpowering task, emotionally and mentally exhausting. Our financial supporters were not in this with us because we were winning championships. They were in it with us because of all that we were doing that led to winning those championships. I was driven to succeed in my fundraising and publishing work for all our St. Bonaventure athletic teams because of this prolific, greater St. Bonaventure family, a truly enthusiastic community that embraced us with great energy but I was inspired to excel in these endeavors year after year by the hundreds of extraordinary Dennis Johnson student portraits, which alone set our book apart from all the rest. We made some money and a lot of new friends, and we never missed a game. For this, I thank my amazing publishing partners, Dan and Jeff at Anchor Printing, whose expertise, dedication, and professionalism year after year ensured that we produced a high school sports book that was second to none, and that we could even provide a comprehensive update insert section up front in every fall sports issue. My own #1 goal was to get every single name on every team and group spelled correctly and under the correct beautiful face. In all the years we came pretty close. All those blossoms who fueled and replenished me fall, winter, and spring, they brought me so much gratification as a messenger for St. Bonaventure High School. The pride, the poise, the relentless pursuit and preparation, born of the families and perfected under the coaches. Winning, of course, has been great fun. But all that went into the winning is the sweet victory. The winning lessons for living a true service-driven Christian life of giving your best and doing your best. I proudly see this every day in the values and actions of my kids, and I witness them living it in their relationships with our 4 new little Steiners. Thank you so much. You've been patient and kind, and I truly appreciate the opportunity to share these special moments with you this evening. Seraph pride is unstoppable. Seraph tradition is unbeatable. A Catholic education is an advantage for life. Go Big Green.